Hey, welcome back. It's the KANU Chronicles, episode 203, and I'm on here with Broski, making a bunch of noise in the background. I don't know what's going on.
But, I'm outside.
No, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, we're just gonna finally wrap up the NBA Finals and talk about the Raptors taking down the Golden State Warriors in their last appearance in the Oracle Center in Oakland, California.
Yes. Well, I won't say yes like that because it wasn't. I don't know, man. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to be that kind of series. First of all, I didn't think it was going to be Toronto at all. So I ain't even paying them to be nowhere near the fucking finals. So that was a shock for me. But anyway, yeah, it was a beatdown. But
yeah,
like I said, man, like I keep saying, it should get asterisks, man, because you didn't really beat Golden State, man. You beat like a shell. You didn't. Sure. You guys didn't really beat the fucking. I mean, y'all did go in there and play your fucking game, and that's how you're supposed to do it. Champ is hobbled. He ain't in good shape.
Yeah, man. You don't let down. I mean, and they were they were beating them when they had some strength. They just They can't help that, the other guys got, injuries. And
it was little freak injuries.
And it's the same, like I said, the previous year, then it has to be the same for Golden State because they didn't play a real full-strength LeBron team a couple times, even.
So,
I mean, honestly, I think this is outside of the Kyrie Irving that year with LeBron. I think this is the toughest, they've really had they haven't, I mean, if you really think about it, it's nothing to take away from. I hate even, like we're saying all this shit, it's like, it's still you win, but, it's still in finals terms versus the great teams in finals of years before. You need two teams that have pretty much their full strength in the finals all the way. Then you really feel like you're seeing it. Otherwise, it's kind of like, it kind of dampers it a bit,
A little bit, just a little bit. I'm not saying it's just it's completely fucked. You got this. No.
This is just being picky. I mean, most fans nobody cares. It's like, hey, Toronto won.
Well, if you're a Toronto fan, you don't give a fuck who was on the fucking floor. You put Steve Kerr out there, old Jordan, Pippen. We don't give a fuck who's out there. We just wanted to win. But if you're a casual fan like I am, I don't have a fucking team. I wanted to see you guys taking down the fucking champs. That means everybody on the floor, full strength, not hobbled, not saying they're sick, not saying they hurt. You know, I just want to see you guys play. So it would have been astounding if after Clay got his leg hurt, he'd have did one of those Willis Reed type things, come back out there hobbled and still whoop your guys' asses and shit. But it didn't happen like that. He was fucked up. You guys won the game. Thank you. I mean, hey, thank you for changing the fucking league to me. I didn't want to go to sleep to win.
Well, the thing is, anyways, to me, I was like, it just got to a point I said, well, I understand that they may be hobbled, but this is the deepest team in the NBA. This is the one that has all the answers all the time. So it's like, well,
that's what I'm saying.
So what are we talking about? You're still playing a team that hasn't won a championship. So
yeah, you made that point where you're just like, hey, this is supposed to be a deep ass team. What happened?
They celebrate talking about them all year long, all the time, that they're the deepest and that's the best. And so now that happened, well, so and so got hurt though, and so wait a second, what happened to the deep team? I thought the deep fucking team was here.
Yeah,
they got 20 fucking versions of Durant or something,
The whole thing.
Guess they don't.
They're not. They really wasn't that fucking deep when the guys that you guys were calling upon, you guys didn't let them play none. You guys just played out your guys. You should let those guys play a little bit more. They should have been challenging and making it. It just seemed like they just weren't there all of a sudden. They just looked like they were just kind of going through the motions, kind of looking like, we'll figure it out and win. Just didn't look like they were there wasn't enough. They should have had some. I mean, of course, actually, the one that had that look, I shouldn't even say the whole team did, is Curry. He didn't look like he gave a fuck. Well, he was just, dude, he was so, man, I'm telling you, man, He been banged up. And the thing is, man, I say it about all sports. These guys not going in 100%. No game.
No.
You're never going to go in there.
You went
like
5 years. 5 years straight. Yeah. It's 5 years straight, man.
Just
5 years
season,
straight,
dude. The whole season, they've
5
been
years.
scrapping these wins together. So, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna take anything from Toronto. You guys won.
Oh yeah,
I don't fuck the asterisk on the season, all that bullshit. But you guys really didn't beat the fucking champs. You guys did beat some good teams to get to there.
Right.
But you guys, they didn't beat a full strength Golden State. That would have been total different to me.
Oh yeah, no, I think they would kind of agree and say, yeah, it would be different, but then again, maybe they would have figured that out too, you know?
I think it would have been a whole different series. I don't know if they would have won or not, but a full strength Golden State team.
Yeah.
The bench would have mattered then, because when the bench comes in, these other guys bring their bench in, they getting washed, because you guys is you guys are nothing without a certain guy on the floor. But they were showing you, Toronto was showing you that we got a lot of pieces that we put the right combination on the floor, we're going to wear you guys out. And Leonard wasn't one. A lot of times Leonard wasn't on the floor.
Right.
They were still giving Golden State problems.
Yeah.
So,
well, the league, all it is the league is showing they are, like I said, next year, and we're going to get into that, but we'll just keep it at that. Even this year, right now, you could see in this playoffs, the league is catching up. They've modeled what Golden State has done, and then they're putting it into their, they're doing their versions of it as much as they can.
Yeah. And bully ball is over. That bully ball shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can still do that. The fucking Clippers showed you that.
Right.
You can still beat up a guy in his head. You can still do that. But now with the guys now having such humility, like a fucking try to do that shit to Kawhi Leonard. Try to put Kawhi Leonard. Mm-hmm. He don't give a fuck, man. He's gonna, he gonna walk away from it. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna get into that shit. He's gonna stand there and talk to you. You don't never see him doing that shit, dude. Mm-hmm. So it's certain guys, you can do that shit to Durant. He gonna mount back. Mm-hmm. He gonna mount back. But Curry, he gonna mount back. But Kawhi Leonard, he's not gonna mount back. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck, man. Shut up. Shut up, man. We up by 15 points. Shut the fuck up.
I got another ring. I got another ring to win.
I got another ring, man. I don't have a ring no more. I got rings.
He's got rings. Yep, he got rings.
So now he's really going to be humble now, dude.
Woo.
Really and like I said, if he goes to the Clippers and take that same act over there, which they just made it to the playoffs, dude, come on, man.
That'd be nuts.
That would be nuts. But like I said,
I don't think so.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
No.
I think everybody, all these free agents they talking shit about, it's only Durant may move, and now he's not going to the Knicks. He probably go to Brooklyn. Klay Thompson ain't going nowhere. There's no way they're gonna let that whole team get discombobulated like that.
They got a new seats to sell, man. They can't be having that shit happen.
I don't think they're gonna let that happen. I can't see that happen. Like I said, Durant may walk away. Because if you think about it, he's not part of that core group anyway. He just came in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, even without Durant, I still think they're still a great team. They can still do great things. So, Durant can go. And Durant can go make another team better. Like I say, in Brooklyn. Put them back on the fucking map.
Just put them on the map, period. They haven't done shit.
They made it to the playoffs. They did.
No, I know. I'm talking about, really, give that team something to get excited about. I mean, potential. Yes. I mean, you talk about Durant on Brooklyn, that makes it almost like, wow, they can now be the one in the East, maybe,
Man.
Because they already started heading that direction. So, I mean, they're still, Philly's the one that you really can't overlook. I mean, they're definitely they're to me, if we're gonna get into next year, they're already still right up there.
Yeah, you got the East.
No matter what they're doing,
a little bit better, a lot better.
They're way. Yeah, the East is, man, and once all this stuff shakes out, whoever's going to be wherever, that shit's going to be watched. It's going to be crazy, man.
That's going to be wild because we already got the whole Anthony Davis thing is done. So that saga is done. Now we're waiting to see what's going to happen. That's that's all that. Because I mean that's still a train wreck over there in LA. We already know.
Oh yeah.
We already know that. So
at least there's some direction now. It's like, okay, You moved on. You got Ball out of here. Hey, the Pelicans. Woohoo! And they're gonna have Zion. It's like, oh my God, dude, that team.
And all he gotta do is, dude, he ain't gotta have that numbers, dude.
No.
It's for the offensive. If he can do like the rebounds, the blocks, and assists type of thing, dude.
They're just gonna be happy to know because they already got to the playoffs. They know they could be there. Like, know, they're still gonna get there. So they should. Yes. But I mean, they have an exciting team to look at. That's all. They got a whole.
I'm excited, and I'm always like this when we have a big upheaval. Even with football, I'm excited about football. You know,
hell yeah,
because it's a big upheaval. You know, a lot of guys made a lot of noise last year talking shit, except for a few guys. They just moved them. But you got some new guys coming. I'm just a little excited about football this year. But I'm always like that before the season starts until all of a sudden it's New England and fucking Seattle in the goddamn playoffs. Ah, fuck, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, when it gets, football gets, well, any of these sports.
But they all do that.
Yeah, any of them.
Dude. They all do that. When you get to the beginning of the playoffs, you're all excited. All different teams in there. And then your team that you're like, okay, I'm going to follow this team all the way. Gets knocked out first. You're going like, fuck, man, I don't even want to watch this shit no more. You know?
Right.
But as a casual fan like I am, I can always just have fun with it. You know, that team lost out, I jump on this team now. I'm just having fun with it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, I'm not putting no money on the game. I'm not sitting up here trying to tell people, hey, what you should do, smart money is, nah, man, please. Everything I'm saying, this is just straight my opinion. It has nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, we're not giving odds. You know? We're not giving odds. We're not giving totals.
No.
We're just giving talking.
The way I want the NBA to shape out is not going to be how it's going to do it. You know? Because I would love to see LA do great things with LeBron and Anthony Davis together. You know,
right.
They don't have to shine to where they get all the way to the playoffs and win the championship. They don't have to do all that. Just as long as y'all get to where y'all fighting for a spot in the playoffs would be nice.
This year they really do need. I mean, like it's going to be pretty whack if they don't get to the playoff again. It'll be like, wow.
This year they should at least get to the second round. At least to the second round.
Yeah. And
even if we beat Golden State in the second round, I still don't think Davis is the answer to beating certain teams. I mean, it's going to be great.
Well, it's going to be hard to jump that far ahead so quick. You know.
Yeah.
We already saw that, so that's the thing. You have to be. You have to be realistic. Look at the landscape you have, man. It's like, it's a different. This league is changing. It's like, LeBron, you know, you're getting. It's not your fault, you know.
No, and I hate to blast him and blast.
Hard to play with, I guess.
It's so many other things that got that organization just so discombobulated.
Yeah. He's already come into a whole thing. Probably probably more than he maybe realized or something. I don't know.
Well,
or maybe I don't know.
Dude, it's just like the motherfucker telling you, hey man, come on over here, come move to these apartments. We got all this nice stuff, all these nice amenities. You get over here and say, oh, this shit is fucked up. You know, I didn't.
Right.
You show me that you said you got pools, but you didn't show me there was all swamps and shit where the water's all green and all that. You didn't show me that. You showed me some old fucking photo from the 50s.
I got some crazy neighbor you didn't tell me about.
You didn't tell me about all the fucking meth dealer over here and all this bullshit, and the homeless guy living in the fucking dumpster. You didn't tell me about all that shit, but you told me it's a great place to live. And then LeBron, like I said, we sit up and say, oh yeah, he was coached. No, man, he knew what he was getting. I think he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah.
I think so. And it's just a thing about, I think I can do something over there. You know, he's not going to be a quitter. Go over there and get my check. I don't think he's like that.
No. He's too competitive to be that.
No, that's what I'm saying. And he's just way too competitive for that. So I don't see that. So, like I said, I wish good things for the Lakers. I'm hoping they have to do. They have to. If they don't do shit.
Yeah, it has to be better. Yeah, it has to be better.
It's going to be terrible. If they don't do shit this next year, I think LeBron will leave. Davis may stay, but LeBron may leave.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll do good things. And
right.
We'll say, oh, LeBron is the slap rock. He was a slap rock in that fucking team.
Right.
You know, but we don't know yet. We don't know. We haven't got there.
LeBron to the Mavericks.
Man, no, LeBron to Golden State.
Golden State.
You know.
Oh, God.
His next move, he got to go to the Golden State, Toronto. We're going to win a championship. He ain't going nowhere to developing teams no more. His next stop will be somewhere to win another belt.
It's going to be the beginning of the LeBron retirement tour and shit.
Yeah, but I don't understand why he just didn't stay in fucking Cleveland. But he would have been retired like what a fuck. He'd have been like Pacquiao.
LeBron's
like when they do the Olympic guys. Once you win the Olympics in Russia, nigga, you a king. You ain't gotta do shit the rest of your fucking life.
Right.
You know. So LeBron should have stayed his ass in Cleveland. That's just my thought.
Yep.
You know, you started there, then you left, then you came back, got a championship there. You know, come on, dude. I don't give a fuck what the rest of my career would have been like. I'm staying here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can still go do LA and do all that bullshit, but I have to live here and be a Laker. He didn't have to do that. So I'm just saying, like, for me, I would have stayed. I would have did a Reggie Miller. I mean, he did already had transition, but he went back, dude. They welcomed him back.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah, man. And he got the championship.
And you brought a championship, nigga.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous, man.
So I don't care. I would have stayed there.
I would have at least done 2 more years or something.
No, I would have stayed there. I would have ended my career in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Whatever,
or just do it like that. Yeah.
What else was you gonna do? You're gonna end up going back there anyway. That's what I don't understand.
No, you're right.
So I would have just stayed there. You can buy a house with all the money it would have paid you for to stay there.
He could buy the whole city.
Man, he would have LeBron acres, nigga. They would have been right over there.
LeBron land. That'd be called LeBron land and shit. They just changed the name and everything.
Yeah, but like Microsoft, nigga, he had his own little neighborhood. He didn't have to give a fuck. You know, all NBA players staying there.
Now they're pumping up his son, I guess, or something.
Yeah, they pumping up all his Shaq's son, his son.
At least he does look a little like looks better. Like Jordan's son, that was wrong. It was like Jordan's son is
hardcore, man. That was painful to watch, dude. I think it was the oldest son. Looked like he did not even want to be out there, dude.
Oh my god!
Shit on. And I was like, they showing this nigga's high school game. He's like, I know he was just like, oh my god, I hate this shit.
That was messed up.
I bet that nigga's room, he got a basketball.
And especially then when you know everybody's zoned in on that shit, and now you got all this other shit to watch. You know.
I bet he's not even in his room. We'll say at his house, we'll say in his office, he got a trophy of him playing basketball. It's like sitting over in the corner.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh man, and they got a basketball sitting next to the guy. Man, well, last time he said, dude, you know what? That shit sits over there so my dad come here. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about that basketball shit. My dad later on the day, I brought this shit out. When he leave, I put that shit back in that drawer, dude. I don't give a fuck about no fucking basketball. Don't say nothing to me about no fucking basketball, dude. I swear to God, I will bust your head open with that fucking trophy. Like, God damn, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, dude, I hate that shit. Okay, this is my dad. Look at me, dude. I didn't even get as tall as my fucking dad. Okay? Fuck that, man. I don't give a fuck, man. I hate basketball.
Oh, my God.
None of his sons have done anything with basketball. And by now, you would think it would have been a Klay Thompson, Jordan Jr. or somebody in there.
Yeah.
By now.
Right.
None of them did. I'll tell you, the one, I think, was the youngest son. I think he may have played a little college ball, but that didn't last long.
Right.
He wasn't playing no top flight school ball. I'm sorry, man. He wasn't playing no top flight school.
Oh, my God.
He wasn't playing at top flight school, but I'm going to have to look that up just on my research because I don't want to be just wrong about every fucking thing.
Right.
Like I said,
no, we're just talking.
Dude, I don't do no research on this bullshit, dude. This is what I saw.
Right.
I saw that they played their fucking games, and those were when Jordan's son came in, dude. It was like I don't even know if they lost. I don't think they won that game. It was horrible.
Yeah,
that was horrible, dude.
Yeah, they were trying to get it going like it was going to be something, and everybody tried to watch it, and then you're like, oh, this is. But then it's like,
terrible.
But it's like it's a bad idea. It's like it's just high school. It's like, guys, come on, how good is it going to be anyways,
Dude, first off, the apple falls very far from the tree, and sometimes the apple is made into a pie, sometimes a worm is in it, sometimes all kind of shit, dude. So it's not always like that. Just like actors and shit, they think like, oh, so-and-so your actor was a great actor, but you're terrible. Yeah, because I don't want to do this shit, dude. I'm only doing this shit because I didn't want to do nothing with my life, but it was the easy way to make some fucking money. Shit, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Not like Klay Thompson. It's like that's the guys that excel. That's the guy that liked basketball. He used to go to his dad, go to the gym with his dad, all that bullshit. Jordan King probably hated going to his games, going to the gym, probably hated his ass, Oh, they should be more like me. Man, shut up, nigga. Fuck you. You know, I don't want this shit. Fuck that. I don't hate this shit, man. Now pick that ball up and shoot it. Oh, man, fuck you. That's my mom left your bitch ass, nigga. Man, fuck you, nigga. You cheated on mom anyway. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
You take your cigars, too.
Yes.
So, getting back onto it, so we got the MDA pretty much covered, talking about the draft. AJ Bennett, you want to talk about him on the Knicks a little bit?
Yeah, we got him going to the Knicks. That's going to be the Knicks need it. They fucking need it, dude.
Got something to be excited about, you know.
They need something, man.
Yeah, they don't have much. They have, you know.
They're about to fucking kill the Knicks, man. You walk out here saying you're a Knick, you might get beat up, dude.
Knick fans have been like tortured.
They're passionate fucking fans, dude.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna ever give up. It's just that they're so beaten up, man. It's just wrong, you know.
They're so passionate, dude. And there's a talent been passionate about sports since Joe Namath, dude. And we're talking about the fucking 60s. So
yeah,
we're probably beyond that too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
About the fucking sports, man.
For sure, but the Yankees are the core of it, you know. So
Yankees, Joe Louis, any fighter, from the 70s up, right? Like 70s. He's out of there. No, you didn't want to? Shit. Okay. So that's just a legendary Madison Square Garden, dude. Come on. Everybody wanted to fight there, dude. You made it. You know, that's anything. Music. If you was a music person,
wrestling events, everything.
Everything. You went to the Garden, dude. It's too much.
Yeah, you make it in New York, you make it everywhere. That's what they say. So.
Yeah. And we talk about once you get to those high levels, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Man, so it's like they're really, like I said, this guy now. I think that's great for them. That's great for them. I just hope they get a team around them.
Yeah. Hopefully it manifests to something, not just a bunch of hype. You know.
Because if he can get them motherfuckers above 500, that would be nice for them. You know, they'll have to make it to the playoffs.
Just to have enough of the year where you have hope, or you feel like,
The bad thing about that is, in the East, if you were above 500, you in the fucking playoffs, so it don't matter. You know, but if they make it to the AFC in the playoffs, in the East, with this guy, that'd be nice.
That'd be huge, man.
That'd be awesome.
They'll be thrilled.
Huh? Who was? I was driving where? I don't know, because the music was down on the car. I just turned it down, man. When you turn the car, turn the music down, because I was talking on the phone. We're doing a podcast right now. Okay, well, let's finish this up, man.
Well, go ahead. We'll wrap it up for now. We're going to continue on the part 2.
Tomorrow, and we'll do a part 2 on this tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll continue.
I got to check and see what we got to do a thing on what the teams look like now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where they're at. It's still adjusting. There's time. It's going to take time.
And then we'll look at free agency and see who's the free agents and project where they might go and where they would be nice for them to go. Shit like that.
Okay.
So we'll finish it up right now, and then we'll get back on it tomorrow.
Yep. It'll be a pause break, and that's it. All right.
Yes, y'all, I'm blessed, y'all. The rest fall wanna test all the scripts I flip. No skip, no shit, hold it or hold up. Many wanna see, but they didn't show up. But I blow up in your face like a jammy, like a hold up. Check it out, I show up. Many crew.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just jumping back in the podcast here in the middle of episode 2 of 3. So I'm just going to be going into a solo cast here. I'm actually doing some work, so don't mind if you hear some keyboard action a little bit. But yeah, you just been listening to me and Kim. We gave our recap on NBA finals and all that. wrapping up our playoff run that we did from the beginning and before all the way to now. Again, I know this is a week after everything. I had a vacation planned, so I just didn't happen to record another podcast or something to have you guys in between. And so I apologize. I kind of apologize, but at the same time, you know what? It's good to get a break for myself and, even you guys. There's other podcasts for you to listen to, and, maybe even it's a chance for you guys to go back and listen to an old one. So, a little break for all of us, right? Yeah, so I was just back in, me and my wife, Renee, we were back in Pittsburgh visiting family. I was there for my not my niece, man, my little cousin. Shout out to my cousin, Katarina, Kat. Congrats to graduating high school and getting out to the next stage in life. So yeah, just throwing that out there. I don't know if she'll hear it, but maybe at some point. But yeah, I just wanted to put that in there. But yeah, we went back, and we were there for that, and just getting to see family in general. Usually it is some kind of it seems to end up being that way where there's an event or somebody gets married. So that was the event this time. As far as weddings go, I think we're probably kind of, seems like it's about it for a little while. I'm sure that there's still always going to be somebody getting married at some point, but most of my, pretty much the main cousins I've always been close to, everybody's got their families and pretty much settled, so they're pretty much done for now, unless somebody divorces and remarries at some point. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, it was good family time, guys. If you didn't know already, or maybe depending where you've listened to or what part of I don't know, what episode, depending on what you've come into, and I don't always, maybe cover some personal or life, or, yeah, personal or whatever, but yeah, so basically, yeah, you're like, well, how does Pittsburgh come into the equation? You're in LA, so yeah, I grew up there from when I was age 10 all the way to my, pretty much close to 22. Yeah, I was just before my 22nd birthday, so I pretty much grew up / lived there for a good 11 years, and I've been back out, came back to LA, so to speak, not so to speak, but I came back to LA in my early 20s and have been here ever since. So really, overall, I've lived mostly in LA and everything, but that's still a critical part of my life experience and growing up experience was there. So yeah, I still, I kind of definitely have both places are close to me, you know what I mean? But probably there even more in certain ways, just because those are those years, those real formative years and time. So yeah, that's the relation, and it's always good, man. I like getting back there. It's such a nice break from the just the hustle and bustle of this big city, but even just just the life, your own life, like anybody, it's the same thing. If you're back there, you come out to LA, it's a break from the monotony and the boredom, so it kind of goes back and forth. But yeah, I've been going back. I pretty much have been visiting Pittsburgh since I've been out here almost every single year since I've been here. I mean, there's been a few, probably about over the years, I would say, probably maybe about 4 years that I didn't get to go. But then there's been other years where I ended up going 2 times. I think pretty much 2. I don't know about 3. But yeah, so yeah, I really need to, I'm going to sit down and have to write all these things out from just a timeline of visits back and forth. You know, it'll be pretty interesting to try to, and especially now while I could probably still do it because, you know, I don't know, as the years keep going and going, it's going to get hard to track that. It's already kind of there. It's already kind of there as it is, but I probably could do a pretty good job if I started doing it right now. I could probably could pretty much get them all down as far as, you know, yeah, I could definitely pretty much sort that out. Yeah, I had a good time. Didn't get to really get around the city, unfortunately. It's hard. That's unfortunately, the thing that happens, much like a lot of people, you're going back to your hometown or wherever, and, you know, sometimes you just, I want to go and, I like to be there and be a tourist, really. I'd like to go and, I wish I could just do that, but I got to visit people, and I like to. Thankfully, I'm glad I have that. There's a lot of people that don't, you know, they move away from wherever that place was that they're from, and unfortunately, it's not really a good thing. They don't want to ever, you know, they don't go back. They don't like their family maybe, or they don't get along. You know, so I'm glad I don't have quite that deal. You know, and, you know, there's a little bit of that, but, yeah, mostly, yeah, really at large, I have a good, it's not a place that I don't go back and I don't, it's not like I get memories and feel like, oh, you know, I don't start feeling like, oh, I hate this place or any of that. It doesn't happen to me. It really doesn't. And that's good. I'm glad. You know, because, yeah, to be honest, I mean, early, you know, coming from there to here, I mean, it wasn't out of that. I wasn't, like, mad at the city, or I didn't get all like that. But, you know, yeah, I did need the change, and it was, you know, I did feel like I was, you know, I don't know, I was feeling like I was probably getting stagnant there, but that was just a period in time, especially looking back. In reality, I know that probably wouldn't have lasted much longer, but, you know, I'm just glad that, because you know, I probably did worry or think about it for a second, kind of, you know, that, you know, I was hopeful, like, I didn't want it to be a place that I didn't like, or that I was going to visit and I was going to get, you know, bad feelings and stuff, and it turns out it really hasn't been that. So, you know, not that everything about being there growing up was perfect, but, you know, I have to admit, if it was going to be that way to me, it would have already come up at this point in my life. But so you know, it's just good that it hasn't. It's really reassuring. It's like, you know, I could go back there and I feel all right, you know, so good time. And now living there, that's always comes up. Me and my wife, or between us, or a family member will always ask at one point, hey, would you ever think of, you know, do you think you'll ever move here? Or now they're kind of at a point, I think most I get now kind of is like, you're probably not, huh? Because I've been out here so long now, and I'm like, yeah, it's, you know. Now that is different. When I do think about that reality, it is that's a bit different, and I could see how that might be a difficult thing. But, you know, then I let that kind of sit and I think about it, and it really, I don't know, it's not as daunting as it might have been at some point. I think there was a time, well, especially early on, you know, well, I'll be clear. Actually, let's start with this. So most people, let me make sure everything's recording, guys, before I start ranting away a little. Since we're, you know, getting into some of these topics, or this topic, whatever. But, you know, most of the time, the attitude or the idea with leaving a place like that, or a small town, or anywhere, it doesn't even matter. But maybe, and this might be just something from movies that kind of depicted it this way, and it's also in real life, but, you know, the idea is you leave and you go to the big city, and then if you don't, I don't know, make it or don't get super rich or whatever that thing is, the person comes back and you have your tail between your leg and you're somehow supposed to feel like you're a failure or something. That's bullshit. I think that you can have that attitude, but really that's a bunch of bullshit. Because the fact of the matter is, even if you did, anybody that's done that, left your city, town, whatever, to go out to a bigger place and so-called make it, if you happen to go back to your hometown for whatever reason, maybe it's financial issues, maybe you just didn't jive with the place after a while or whatever, that's not a failure. You did go and not only succeeded in going to the place you were, that was looming on you, or going after that dream and trying, maybe, and because of that you had to go to a certain place, so I think I pretty much kept it healthy. I remember first off, when I came here, I was kind of uncertain. I knew what I was going to do or wanted to do or be around, which was the audio and recording and music and entertainment. But, I didn't know in actuality if that was going to really maybe happen, or if I got here and, started realizing, I don't really like that, or maybe it's not as much as or maybe it's not my thing as much as I thought, whatever. So at the time I was like pretty open. I said, okay, well, I'm going to go out there. My idea was like, let me go out there. I'm going to go check this school. I had a pretty firm and solid idea, this school, and, I knew what they offered and everything else. So it was just like, well, I have to go and see if that's going to happen for me, whatever. But the other thing was, if it didn't work out, I was going to then do everything I could to get to Australia for a visit. And it wasn't going to be just a visit. I was going to try to stay there for a while. So that would have been my next thing. And so after that's all said and done, basically the idea was like, hey, I go do this big thing. I go to California, blah, blah, blah. I go overseas. And the attitude was, hey, and if all those things don't turn into a life thing or go on forever, then I just come back. And it was a big trip, and that's what I did. That was my attitude. That's the way I looked at it. Which, in hindsight, I'm glad that was a very healthy way for me to treat it. Because, like I said, again, people, I think, can really put too much pressure on themselves and do that thing where they go, I gotta make it there, and I can't ever come back. For whatever reason, they put that in their head, and it's like, for what reason can't you come back? Why? Because it's like they put in their head a thing almost like if you go back, like if I went back there, that as if, the only job I'd be able to do is work in a warehouse because that's what I was doing then, or some other shitty job, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, when in actuality, it's like, no, I could still do whatever the fuck I want. I mean, there would be a reality of what I could probably do, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, what a shitty way to... people do that, and that is stressful if you think about it, because it's like, well, what if you don't? What if something outside of your control, you just don't, maybe you only make it so far, or whatever the hell it is. Again, why have that unhealthy attitude and outlook on a place just because, you don't so-called make it somewhere, as if that's all it is in life, So I know I'm kind of going on about it, but I'm just wanted to share that for you guys, some of you new listeners, and give you my background. This is what what has gotten me to this point, or what created all this. Started my life in a way, or whatever, years ago or whatever. So yes, and also, I'm just sharing it because I know some of you guys out there, maybe you're about to go into the same, maybe that's something you're about to do. Maybe you're trying to leave a place or change or whatever, and hey, just some food for thought, because maybe that's something that you just didn't think of. You didn't think of it that way, and hopefully it can help. Might help somebody out there. So sharing, man, you got to share, right? That's what we're taught. It's real simple stuff. We're taught that in fucking kindergarten. Remember, like sharing and or like what was it? Not even just kindergarten, but after that was show and tell. For a little while, and then all of a sudden that stuff goes away. But that's what the internet. We're kind of doing the same. It's like we can make this a fun thing of show and tell, and I don't know, just sharing experiences, sharing information. So yeah, good week. Just getting, just jumping right back to work. Pretty smooth, actually. Already feeling pretty much with the time zone again. My jet lag is kind of worn off, I think. And don't think I had too much of it, but it does happen a little bit. And you just got to kind of, I don't know, for me I think getting to work is probably the best thing because it gets you right back on a schedule. But it's been pretty smooth. I've been lucky, I have to say. Most of the time over the years, I actually really haven't experienced too much jet lag, but I'm glad, which I'm glad, thank God. But yeah, guys, if you get jet lag issues, just do whatever you can, if your sleep's funky, if you got to get something to help with that, herbal supplements, maybe you even have to get a prescription, just do it, because you don't want to let a trip mess up your whole thing, because that can continue on where your sleep is kind of messed up. And yeah, we got to take it serious. We don't take it serious enough. If you're in your if you're pretty young, 20s, maybe even early 30s, you're all right. You can probably recover pretty good. But no joke, though, guys. Seriously, even in your younger age, I think everybody should be more, just be aware of sleep. I think people don't treat it as serious or haven't treated as serious as they should. It can, it's just something to be aware of. That's all. Look into it for your own self. But yeah, so no problems there. Getting right back to it. Pretty stoked because I got a lot of stuff I want to get done and do, and it's including this podcast and stuff. And I have multiple projects. Actually, one right now I'm excited to talk about. I don't know if I brought it up yet on this podcast. I can't remember. But anyways, I have this Japanese woodcut art that my dad bought back in 1970 or so. That's what my mom says. And so it's pretty much almost 50 years old just by that, let alone it's definitely over 50 years old. So this artwork, it's woodcut art. Excuse me, I'll take some sip of coffee. And what that means is it's carved into wood from these children. It's children's art, and these kids, they were learning how to do woodcut. So woodcut is carving art into wood, and then they transpose it onto paper, like with ink or whatever. So, and it gives the artwork, it's a real interesting texture to it and look, and all that. So obviously one of a kind stuff, and my dad bought this at a police auction years ago, and for probably nothing. And it's like over 100, and it's like almost 100, I want to say almost 130 pieces. And they're not framed, but we've kept them intact pretty much in plastic. I have these big plastic bags my mom, somewhere she bought them years back, and we've just kept them, I've kept them in there all these years. And just this past month or two, I found a place here. Fantastic guy, Danny, who's been helping me out. I'll give a shout out. His company, you can look them up locally here, or if you're not local, but you could look them up. BLS It's a scanning service, imaging and scanning, and I haven't gotten to see all of it yet, but they just finished taking scanning or really taking pictures of this artwork, I should say. So they just finished that like pretty much this last week, and so now I'm going to be getting that put together, or getting those images, and I'm going to be putting it on its own Instagram. I haven't created the Instagram, but I'm just about to, and so I don't have a name or anything yet. So I'll be definitely letting you guys know, but it's going to be every last piece. I'm going to put them up on there, and we're going to go from there. I got some other things. I want to make some t-shirts with them, and all kinds of stuff that people can purchase. I'm going to basically, I'm going to be selling the images in a way, just on different stuff. So it's not just, for a while, for years, we kind of looked at it, if there was anything to do, it was just going to be selling the actual pieces, and it's just a one-time thing, and then that would have been it. But, I just got to thinking in the recent years about it, and it just came to me, and it was just like, oh, wait a second, I could get these made into shirts and stuff like that. So finally, I'm getting this done. Yeah, because I kind of started thinking of that, what I'm just saying. I thought of that probably just about 3 or so years ago. So here we are now, and we're finally at this point. And so yeah, I'm just pumped. And then the other part of it that's really even more interesting, or going to be interesting, well, there's a lot of things that can happen with this, but all of the pieces have the names of the child or whoever made it on there. So I'm hoping that in the midst of this, we maybe get in contact, or they get in contact with me, and whatever. I don't know what will happen from there. I'm not trying to make it a bigger thing than that, but just, if I could just know that they saw this or whatever, I'd be thrilled. Like, that would just really be cool. So yeah, so it's going to be a fun, it's another fun project or something you want to say for me, and the beauty of it, it's really going to be pretty simple. I'm not going to have to do a whole lot, just really, just make it available and, start sharing it. So yeah, so just letting you guys know that it's as I keep saying it, I think this is the first time I've probably mentioned it to this length, but so yeah, so you'll be looking out for that. Also, in terms of content and all that, just another heads up, you guys can check out my mom's music, Monica Martoff. Look her up on SoundCloud. You can follow her there. You could check out what she has on Spotify and all the other majors. We have 3 original demos of hers on there. The 3 songs are Summer in LA, Leaving You, and Follow Your Heart. So you can check those out, and please, download, stream, anything helps. See what you think. These are pieces that she did in the early 80s, and I started releasing her stuff a few years ago, and since then we've been remaking some of her music. I've hired some musicians to do some of that, and right now our first remake of her, of these songs I just named off, Summer in LA, I just did a remake of, and it's up on her SoundCloud. I'm thanking the singer Astrid. She did a great job, and shout out to Zenot that helped on the production, and yeah, check it out. It's on SoundCloud, only there, and also on YouTube. I have a lyric video I made, and yeah, see what you think. I just really proud of it. It's something I've been wanting, again, like these other things, something we've been wanting to do, or I've been wanting to do, and so we're crossing that bridge, and we got more to come. We're gonna have some, we're gonna have some more remakes and remixes or whatever really soon, and yeah, so check out that. You could follow her Monica Martov, check her out. She's on Twitter as well also. So yeah, just look her up, Google, and go to everything. Check it all out, and also she's been on the podcast a while back, a little long ago now. Well, actually earlier this year, I think I ended up I don't know if I put that up. Anyways, I'm going to have her back on really soon. I need to do that. And, but in the meantime, yeah, look up her stuff, see what you think. Like I said, she did 4 songs total that were lyrics, and all that, singing, and the rest is like instrumental work, compositions. But yeah, and also if you're listening and you're in the industry or whatever, she's retired. She's not a performer. If you're, somebody's looking, maybe wants to use one of these songs or cover it or whatever, you could feel free to contact. You could contact through any of her places like Twitter and stuff. I take care of that, so you will hear back from me, or you could, reach out to me directly. I take care of it. So, just putting it. I just want to make sure and make it clear out there. That's where we're out. That's what we're up for. We're just trying to get her music heard, and love to, if there's some collaborations of some sort or interest of any sort, feel free. We're up for it. Yeah, simply put, I don't have anything else to say. But yeah, it's been fun for me, and it means a lot to me to be able to do this. I literally grew up listening to all these songs and hear her and see her compose, and maybe not every last one, but a good portion of them, and to be able to get them out for people to hear, and not only that, but get them remade and take them from where they're at, and improve and have them professional, is really it's something right up my alley, and it's exciting. And if I could tell anybody, I'm sharing this again, it's not just to be like, look at me and look at, it's really, again, I'm sharing it also like, hey, maybe there's something you guys, maybe you have the same thing. Maybe your mom or somebody in your family did some work on music and they didn't maybe get to pursue it at the time or whatever. Look, I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to, all these years later, that you're going to make a big splash or whatever with your music, but with the way that technology and what's available, guys, I definitely encourage anybody, if you could go through and do the same thing, or you want to do that, I really, really encourage it. And if you're looking, whatever that is, maybe something's not finished, you really need help with it, and, maybe you're not that musical though, but you have the, have the idea in your head, and you know what you would like to hear. There's people to hire out there, or not even, you need to be surprised. There's some people that probably they'll even just do the collaboration for little or no money, because sometimes they just want to do a collaboration, period. So I'm just encouraging, hey, don't bring out that old stuff, put it out. I mean, even if, look, music's subjective. Some stuff, not everything's going to be great. It's maybe not the most awesome or whatever, but you never know, man. People are into all kinds of stuff. I mean, obviously I would, you have good sense or good taste somewhat. You'll know what's good and what's not, or what you think is passable. But yeah, I just really encourage that. Why not? And if it's not that, maybe it's drawings, maybe it's some paintings. Share, put it out. Let's share our stuff, man. Put it out there. You'd really be surprised. If we don't do it, we're never going to know. That's the thing I'm learning more and more. And it's been a cool process. I don't know. I'm sure I'm not alone with this, but maybe, and it might, I don't even know if it's really a certain generational thing or not, but look, I think people, we get in our heads too much and overthink stuff, and, it holds us back from, putting things out there and, just going for it, because, I don't know, whatever that dumb voice is that stops us, and we can't do that. It's not good, first off. Secondly, nobody's telling you not to do it, really. And even if they are, screw them. There's no harm in putting out your expression in art, or somebody else's. If you're the person like myself. Sometimes for whatever reason, you're the go-to, and you have a knack for this and a knack for that, and you're the person that's down to help and all that. But yeah. So I'm just expressing that. I just think it's important, and it's it's not about, of course, well, I shouldn't say it isn't about, but yeah, look. Does everybody, of course, people, then the other part is, yes, do you want to make money from it? Do you want to get, somewhat famous or whatever? Yeah, of course. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Probably not. But you have to, if you don't try, and if you don't at least, really get it out there, then you just won't never know. And just think how foolish that really is in the end of the day. Like, sit and think, like, why is it making you uncomfortable to share something, you know what I mean? It's usually pretty silly, and it usually really doesn't mean anything. So, but it affects a lot of us, man, so don't feel it, don't think that you're the only one, man. There's a lot of people in the same boat, they've been, in fear of whatever that is. Maybe it's rejection. Maybe you feel like you're going to be judged. All these things. And quite honestly, I'm telling you, you're not going to really, nothing will really happen. And that's good or bad. So, and it's not bad. So, okay, like for instance, I'll give you this. So this summer in LA, I'm really excited. My mom's excited. I love it. She digs it. And then I just, finally put it up and put it out. And I didn't do a big promo thing or run some ads. I just kept it simple. Well, so guess what we got? We got maybe 30 or so listens at this point. Some people would be like, "Oh, that's terrible," or whatever, but no, it's not. Because the point is, we still did it. We got it there. It's out. And yeah, it's probably not going to get a bunch of listens right off. She is not Taylor Swift. She doesn't have, XYZ fan base. So yeah, it takes some elbow grease, and we're gonna, do some paid promotion, and that's gonna get some more ears on it. But I feel great, because again, at the end, after it's all said and done, I feel great knowing, hey, we got it out there, people are hearing it, and that's really actually what matters, because otherwise her stuff is, I'm telling you, if I didn't, I didn't get this done for her or attempt to do this for her when I started, I don't know how many years ago or whatever it was, but her music would have just ended up living on some cassette somewhere and never would have been heard ever, and yeah, that's sad. That's really sad. So yeah, so that I'm just giving that words of encouragement out there, and yeah, I can't reiterate, if you got something like that, maybe it's yours, it's somebody else, get it out there. Start somewhere with it. Now, that all being said, of course, hey, if if the music isn't as good as you think it should be, or you're uncomfortable about the quality, by all means, I'm not suggesting just throw out anything out there, but start the work for it so you can put out a good version or your best version of something. You know what I'm saying? Let that be your, excuse me, make it a project. So yeah, so it's fun, man, guys. It's just, again, I think people be surprised what, you just never know what people are going to like, how they're going to hear things, how they're going to see things, all that. So, but yeah, so that's it. What else is going on? Trying to think. Yeah, it's just the same stuff, guys. Like I said, just a lot of, yeah, I'm just kind of busy with different projects, but this KANU Chronicles, we're going to continue on. Of course, the podcast you'll be hearing weekly. I know now it's going to be probably going to be lighter on the sports, a little lighter, just since it's that time of the season. And I don't plan to talk a ton of baseball. I know I will talk some, but playoffs, the NBA playoffs are over. I appreciate all you guys that have listened up to this point, and I'm not saying this to like, oh, that's it. No, we're going to be talking some draft. We're going to be forecasting and doing a little bit of NBA coverage here and there, but I can't, I'm not going to make any, certain promises of anything else. If you want a lot more of that sports talk, actually, I'm going to tell you, go check out my man, Gabe Morency. Actually follow the Fantasy Sports Network. Free plug. I'm not getting paid for saying this. But yeah, check them out on YouTube. They broadcast every weekday, all day and night. And even on the weekend, you could watch some replays. And I think they have some live stuff even on the weekdays. But yeah, go support independent media like them. I don't want to endorse the big guys. You know who I'm talking about. They don't need any endorsements. So check out Morency, Gabe Morency. He has a show the morning after with him and Joe Ranieri. They cover pretty much most things that are going on in sports. They also cover from a gambling point of view, so you're going to get the odds and some of their predictions. So if that's your thing too, all the better. So yeah, just giving a plug to them. So, but if you want to hear, some BS, not BS, but if you want to hear some, regular everyday kind of dudes talking about some sports and commentary, yeah, check us out. Me and Kim will, like I said, pretty much it's going to be weekly, but, we will be continuing to have some of that. And even if he happens to somehow not come on or whatever happens, I'm going to be talking about it a bit. I'll do it on the solo cast just as I've done before. It'll just be even that much better. So look forward to that. And there's so much. Like I said, I am excited. I can't wait. I definitely have a lot of content and things in store, as this podcast is only going to get that much better. So about to take that next plunge and, stepping up, getting, more professional, getting into some new equipment. And, I already did one step with what you're listening to right now. This is my, little handy recorder, different from the iPhone. I'll say I've listened to both, and you know what? I still will say that the iPhone really did a damn good job for its time. But, I think that this is, a little more, I feel like you're getting a little more, like you're in the room a little bit more. I don't know. It's pretty cool. But, coming up with the more professional and the mics and all that, it's going to be even better. So yeah. And along with that comes, we're going to have I'm going to have even better guests and some more interesting. We're going to get, it's going to get different here, guys. It's, about to get a little more well, not a little, a lot more. I want to get more unpredictable, so you guys are kind of, just get excited again. I want to make this that much more exciting. I don't want it to be the same old thing, all the way. Although I do want to keep an element of this. Like I said, I would like to keep some of this solo cast going, but I can't please everybody, and I'm not worried about that. So you're gonna take what you can get, and it's free anyway. So that's how it goes. So, anyways, to wrap that up, I pretty much said what I needed to say for now, and go from there. Maybe there'll be a little bit more. Maybe they won't. I don't know. You'll just have to listen. All right. Thanks.
Say ooh ooh ha 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 hey. Say ooh ooh ha 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 hey. Ooh ooh ha 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 hey. Say ooh ooh ha 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 hey. Ooh ooh ha 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 hey. Let's go back here. That old school kind of hey. Ooh ooh ha 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 hey. Coming down, break it down. They come like this. Here it is once again. The man with skills, making action, doing stunts that give you a thrill. Tingle up your spine, pouring lyrics like wine. Fat and rich and quite divine. I got it going on, cause I'm not as electricity. Come up, just the dawn into the vicinity. Give me a crowd, the mouths are shut and listen. Couple watts of sound, throw my bait and I'm fishing. Fishing for some bands that they name is great. You don't think? Give me the time, you can wait. Prepare to be aware as the big around the straight. Out the loud bang, clear around my pockets are paid. You hear how they load like the lodium. Pull the backs, fools are holding them. Good. Watch out, like the road goes the street. Like the one to be fucked with the scheme. Say, ooh, ah, ha, ha, hey. 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 Step back forward, acts of facts. This one's on any track. Blazing trails for the others on my path. So follow fellow, now rock and rugged. Well, some drop a mellow, hello, still I remain bugging. No hand signs, only a wave or the finger. Explode landmines, I don't claim to be a singer. Another crack open door.